Alright, my color crow crew. Now, we gotta understand that this vessel that we're in, this flesh body, is a piece of technology. And within this piece of technology, there are special skills that can be unlocked. See, if it's deoxyribonucleic acid, and then there's ribonucleic acid, and then there's amino acid, which are things that we know that we need, and we know that these are the building blocks in which make us who we are by build. And genetics, these DNA codes, they're like codes, almost like a computer code. When you put a code in on Mortal Kombat to get blood back in the day, because they had to edit it for us youngins when we were youngins, and we had to, that's what it is. You put in a code, you put that code in a Contra, you get that extra dudes, so you can maybe run through the game, but that game can get hard and you might still lose. So, but what are codes? Codes are programming. Amino acids are codes. DNA codes. RNA codes. RNA would be a single helix spiral, and the double helix is the DNA. And so that's what you have to understand. It's atomic and it's acid. What is acid? Acid's light. What's photon? It's a light particle, right? Photon's a light particle. Like I said, phono has to do with sound. Phonograph. Now, photon, subatomic particle, quantum unit of light. You see? What is photosynthesis? Formation of carbohydrates in plants by the action of sunlight. But that happens in you too. Your metal's just iron. Our metal's just iron. Fe. Fee fi fo fum. I smell the blood of Englishman. Huh? On that vibration. Well, you know why they even said that? Fee fi fo fum? It's because giants. Imagine, okay. We're humans of all size, color, and proportion. But not all of us are giant. Now imagine someone gigantic, like abnormally size. I'm not talking about like Yao Ming or Shaq. I'm talking about someone in more gargantuan proportions than those guys, and they are pretty fucking big, as is. Let's say there's somebody who's like 13 feet tall, and we know that that shit existed because they found bones. Look at the skulls of those gigantically proportioned skeletons of men renown, of great stature. Imagine the size of the brain in there. Imagine the size of the pineal gland in there. Imagine the size and extent of the senses that they would have if they were a humanoid type of creature, and a gargantuan proportion. Imagine the thought vibration. Imagine the vibration of every step that they took, especially if they were massive and muscle bound, and also had special powers because they're like demi-human type of beings, but more on a gargantuan scale, not like demi-human like a dwarven person that you would see today, like a midget or a dwarf, someone who's vertically challenged, very short. I won't want to say 3 feet, 2 feet, like a little bit under 4 feet type of height would be considered dwarves. I don't know about orcs and trolls, except for the ones that hate on the low and support on the cool. But I mean, those, that's always cool for me. But like as like far as the mystical stuff is concerned, like, I mean, listen, these are all codes, and certain things were turned off and on. The mutation of the elemental combinations. I mean, come on, you can't tell me that this isn't 100. Green skin, yeah, of course there would have to be some type of elemental, you know, reaction chemically. But like, I can tell you this, like, say if you have too much iron. If you have too much iron, your skin will become blue. Like, if you have iron poisoning, your skin will become a bluish tint. If you are green, I would want to say that you have too much copper in you, or something like that, I want to say. Because that will change your... That, see, okay, if you dump oil in water, what color does it turn? It turns black. Or if you dump cooking oil in clear water, it turns like a yellow. It starts mix, but oil and water doesn't mix, but it still becomes corrupt. The water has oil on top of it now. Now, it's, if you turn that water on, add fire to it, it's going to explode. That's like a grease bomb right there. You know, you mix water and oil, add fire, boom. I mean, there's no other way to put that. It's hydrogen, oxygen, and whatever glycerin or canola oil, plant glycerin, or, you know, oil, whatever that stuff is. And that's what I want to call it. Plant glycerin, maybe. Yeah, so it's like elemental, man. Everything is. But it's a technology. It's a technology that must be overstood. It's a chemical thing that must be overstood. It's a topic that is not to be taken lightly. And when you do take things lightly, you end up doing what? You end up blowing up labs, i.e. meth labs, when people do illegal stuff like that and know not what they do. Because they're, number one, trying to do chemistry, and then they're, number two, high and zombified, and number three, completely out of whack and trying to play chemistry class, and then that's why they end up blowing stuff up. That's right there a prime example of retardation. And a dangerous case at that. So, like, you have to just get the gist that the chemical reaction, the electricity in your body, is all technology. There's water in you. There's metal in you. Certain metals are bioavailable. Those are the ones that you ingest. Certain elements are bioavailable. Those are the ones you ingest. I'm not saying that you should not ingest gold or colloidal silver. Colloidal silver kills bacterial infections at a mass rate. It like eradicates that. However, if you eat too much, because it's a spray sublingual, if you do that, you can become poisoned by the silver. See? And that's not good. So you have to be careful with the elements that you intake, especially in the raw form. Like if you drank straight hydrogen, liquid hydrogen, that wouldn't kill you. You'd be extremely hydrated though. And you'd be surprised that you drink water and you're thirsty, but you're not even hydrated all the way. You know? You're not even all the way hydrated. And you ask yourself why. I got a phone call, y'all. Had to mute that. Get back to this. So basically, elemental intake. Your elemental being. You have light in you, which is radiant and magnetic in nature. There are certain metals in you, and they're either water soluble, and then there's earth alkalis in you, and these things are water soluble. But say you get the non bioavailable stuff in you, right? What do you think that makes you? Well, microscopic pieces of non bioavailable stuff doesn't really get digested. It just stays in you. So then now you're like a walking I don't know, almost like a walking magnet toy. And then it's like it's like a microwave almost, you know. Go look it up on YouTube about some cats in another country. They turned whatchamacallit into a strap, man. I mean, they were doing some things with it. I don't know how they did it. They took the microwave and plugged it up, and the back of the microwave plugged it up to some type of apparatus they had. They were blowing up TVs. So I'll show you a little bit of an example. I'll try. You know what I'll do? I'll find that link and I'll post it below here or wherever the link go. I'll post that in the box, and then you guys can go watch that. I mean, everything I stand on volumes. You see this? Look, that's just volumes, man. I don't got time to, you know, sell you dreams. I'm not doing that.